What's up, everybody? Long time no see. Not a lot going on here in Georgia in the wintertime as far as content. We do go to Alabama here and there, but I think that's getting sort of boring for you guys. So I'm going to do another little DIY video. Just have something to do, really. So y'all come along and check it out. You might find it interesting or useful. Come on. Alright, so what we're going to do is on this gas-powered 2-stroke blower by Ryobi. It's a fan jet. We are going to try to fix it. We've had some issues with it. It won't stay running. So we're going to take out the old carburetor, which is basically the only thing you can do, and replace it with a new carburetor. And also, involved with that is, I think there's a filter in the tank that we're going to try to change also. Not sure that we can do that, but we're going to try. Anyway, all right. At a minimum, we're going to replace the carburetor. And what you need for that is some screwdrivers, which I'm going to use my little old 16-year-old DeWalt. I think it's a 12-volt little thing. Not only will you need regular screw Phillips head, but you're also going to need little star bits. I got a little selection of those as well. And of course, you're going to need your little rebuild kit, which comes with everything from new fuel lines to the filter that goes in the tank to the new squirty priming bulb. I mean, it is everything you need. And I think I got this on eBay for like $15 with free delivery. Of course, it's from China. But anyway, so we're gonna do that. Here's the thing we're fixing. So we're gonna do that. So y'all stick with me, and we'll take a little video and little photos and see if we can get through this and see if it runs. Alright, y'all, so it's not often that you're pleasantly surprised with a product off eBay or from China in general. But I'm going to tell you, I was looking to buy just the replacement carburetor unit here, thinking I'd pay about, $15 to $20. Well, so I paid $15, and not only did I get this, but of course it came with all the gaskets. It came with more than enough replacement fuel lines for 2 units, an extra little squishy bubble thing, which there's already a new one on here already, right there. So that's extra. It came with a fuel filter to go in the tank. It came with 2 air filters, and it even came with a new spark plug. I mean, come on. What more can you ask for? That's pretty awesome. 15 bucks. I think with 16 with tax. Free delivery. Wow, that's awesome. So we're going to get a little more of a deep dive in this thing than we thought, because we're going to change the spark plug. We're going to try to change that fuel filter, line filter. I don't know if we can get in there to do that, but at a minimum, we're going to do the carburetor itself. So anyway, come on. All right, first we're going to pop this air cleaner cover off. It's just a little ding-a-ding-ding-ding thingy right there. So we're going to pull that off. It sort of hinges out. I sort of cleaned this up the other day when I was farting around with it, but that was all clogged up with dirt and debris. I cleaned that out. I recommend you do the same. There we go. There's our little intake. And there's the choke, whatnot. We're going to take the whole air filter out, which it's not horrible, to be honest. We'll probably change it with one of the new ones. And then you see you're going to take these little boogers out here, just these 2. That's going to enable you to remove this housing, this choke housing completely. And then these bolts go all the way through the carburetor into the little block. And that's going to allow you to, I believe, take out the entire apparatus. Very easy. The only other little weird thing I think we're going to have to do is disconnect the little throttle cord right there, which is very easy. So it's like a little L or S connection. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, pretty easy. So I'm going to set y'all back and I'm going to get this done. I'm going to give you a little bird's eye view of it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, so there it is. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna get our little handy dandy star bits out. See if we can figure out which one's gonna fit it. Oh yeah. Pop that sucker right in here. Put it on reverse thread. Always keep track of your bolts, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, there she goes. Same as the top. Set those to the side. So now we're going to pull off this choke apparatus. Comes right out. Remember what's the front and what's the back. Hi, I'm the choke. Float out. Okay, we're going to set that to the side. There's no gasket on this, so it's just an O-ring. So we're going to go with that. We're going to put that right there. Next, we're going to undo the little hoo-ha cable from the accelerometer majigger thing up there. So to give that a little wiggle wangle. A little twisty twist up. There she goes, free and clear. So that's basically it. There is fuel in here. Something to have fuel in. Good questiono in the Daniele. Let's do this. Good thing we're in the garage and there's a ton of stuff around. We're going to use this little paint pan. I think. So we need to pull those off, which they might break. Let's see if we can get some pliers. Something. Alright, let's see if this will do. Gotta get them bad boys off of there. There they go. Not too shabby. Alright, so now I think we should remember which is which. So facing head on, we're going to keep the right hose to the right port, the left hose to the left port. So right. Very simple. That one's off, super easy. Didn't break, didn't crack. Like it. So boom, go quick and easy. There is our little old booger. We're gonna replace this. We're gonna replace that. I don't know if that's focusing. It was focusing. All right. So we're gonna set this thing to the side. We're gonna take out the new. Which looks exactly the same, I think, except we got to put the gasket right there. So, with that being said, we didn't need this anymore. Let's get that out of the way. I believe this is our gasket. We're looking on. And our gaskets are a bit differente. Let's see. Interesting. So what we might do, sort of kind of ways, is on the gentle style. We're gonna get us one of these. Oh shit! I dropped it. I'm trying to get us a razor blade. Hold on. Okay, there it is. Shabam! Razor blade. We're gonna try to take this off without damaging it. I wonder if that's even showing up. I think so. We're gonna take this gasket off. We're trying. Thing's been on there for quite some time. What we might do is just use this for a pattern on top of that new one, if necessary. Don't cut your fingers off. Parents, keep your kids away from the razor blades. Alright, we sort of got that one off. I wonder. Yes, I wonder. Okay, that's a little different. Let's see about this one. That's looking like our only repercussion, obsolescence is gonna be anything different? I think, honestly, guys, I think we're just gonna try to use the old one back on the new one. Let's do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna stick it by this old back onto the new, thusly, and so forth. But first we're gonna stick on our two Beskas. Should go on fairly easy, and they do. And I guess we're not going to mess with that end tank. I don't know, maybe we could. We'll try that next. Let's do this first. We're sliding on all this. We're going to just come on in here closer so you can see what we're doing. Come on. What we've done here is we've slid back on these fuel lines, left to the left, right to the right. It does look in pretty poor shape, but it ain't leaking yet that I can tell, so we're gonna go with it. I don't know, we might look and see how hard it is to replace these because it did come with new line. Why don't we do that? Stand by. Alright guys, we're gonna do the safety third, which was supposed to be safety first, but around here we do what we can do. We're gonna remove the fuel from said thingamajigger here, fuel tank, into the recycling bin here to be reused. So that probably should have been done first, but hey, better late than never. We'll be right back with you. All right, y'all, so we dumped the fuel out. We've unhooked the old lines. We've fished out the bottom of that line where the old fuel filter is with our little needle nose, and pull it out. So we're gonna try to pull these old lines out, put some new lines in, and it's gonna be a booger, but we're gonna do it, and I'll be right back with you. All right, because it's super hard to get these little tubies, these new tubes, into those little tiny holes right there. We're gonna take this tank out so we can manipulate it a little better, which is just a couple bolts on the bottom. Shabinga. Right over there. Alright, so we'll be right back. Tank removal. So guys, what we ended up doing was, if you can look close at this little drop right here, we cut an angle on the end of the tube so that it could protrude through a little bit, and then we reached in with our needle nose and pulled it down through, so we had success. Well, there's a will, there's a dang way. Alrighty, with a little bit of ingenuity and wingling and wangling, we got both our new lines in. Don't go trying to waller out these holes to get these to fit, because if you do that, it's going to leak like a sieve. what I did, like we said, we cut a little point on the end of those tubes to be able to penetrate it through the hole a little. And we reached in there with our needle nose and grabbed a hold of them and started pulling it out. And to help the situation, we lubed them up a little bit of that old 3-in-1. So we're well on our way. Let me start putting this thing back together, refuel it, reattach some lines, and we're gonna get on it. See if it cranks. Wait just a cotton picking minute. We're putting the cart before the horse here. We're forgetting something. And I think it's right there under that thing. And it's this. The spark plug. We almost forgot to change the spark plug. And it came with a free one, so let's do it. So my understanding is to find the spark plug, it's under this here rubber thing. It sort of pulls open or blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Trying it. There it comes. Hard as a rock. Super. I don't know if I can do this in one. Good giggly wiggly. I tell you what. Okay, this might be a two-hander. I'll be right back. And there you have it, young ladies and gentlemen. Removal. It's a little tight. That spring was tight. It almost yanked out. I had to get my trusty needle nose in there and give it a helping hand. And I think I peeled off about 14 layers of skin on that finger. But anyway, so we've got access. We're gonna get our, where are they? Excuse me, I'm a little shaky today. We're gonna get our deep well sockets and we're gonna get that thing out of there. And we're gonna take a look at it. This unit's about, my goodness, must be 8 years old or something. Never changed the spark plug. Let's check it out. Things can get a little bit messy, a little bit. 3/4 inch deep well socket. Easy peasy. Well, for a 2-stroke, not horrible, but I'd say it's definitely time for a change in. And just be a little bit gentle when you're tightening that old new one back in. I mean, you ain't gotta have 87,000 foot-pounds of torque on that thing. Just hand snug. Snug it. All right, ladies and potatoes. We've got this thing back on, our new apparatus. It was a little fiddly. Put the old gasket back on because the 2 gaskets that came with the new carburetor did not fit. So that being said, the old one was in good shape. We used a razor blade or razor blade to get that off of there, and it just fit right back. We're putting a new air filter in. We put a new spark plug in, and that was a little bit fiddly getting that back on, just so you know. It ain't perfect. So, looks like everything's working. We got our little cord reattached on the new carb. We're gonna put this thing, the cover back on it. We're gonna put some fuel in it, and we're gonna see if it cranks. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Oh, for heavens. Fingers crossed. Well, she's back together. Sure looking sharp with the new shiny Prima pumpulator there and our new fancy fuel lines right there. Got a new spark plug in there, shining bright. Back together. Let's see if it starts. All right, kids, we're gonna see if this thing starts. Let's prime it. Hopefully. Got some fuel coming up. Full choke. Well, guys, looks like that's it. Might have to idle her down just a little bit, just a scotch, but I think it's safe to say that it runs. Thanks. See you guys next time.